This episode of Empty Betters is brought to you by DraftKings. The NBA 82 game grid is done, and now the real fun begins. The NBA playoffs are here, and it's time for the high stakes drama, clutch moments, and jaw dropping plays. I can't wait. If you're looking to make the playoffs even more exciting, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered as an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Try placing a bet on your favorite player's performance. Will they drop 30 points, 40 or more? It's your call. Here's something special for first timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, and Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus premium terms at nfl.com/terms.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to episode 262 of Empty Betters. I'm your host, Harrison Scholes, and I am going to toss it across the screen to my co-host, Mr. Nick Manella. What's going on?
Round two, baby. Let's go, Caps. This is going to be a big one.
Yep, figured we were going to start off like that, so I'll just toss it off to Mac right now. Mac, how we doing?
CAPS, 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 caps. Dude, I'm so hyped. I forgot what it felt like to win a series. 2018 was a long time ago, and yeah, that one felt good.
I was
So,
mad.
yep, I was mad. I'm Harry's mad. Um, I'm excited. I'm really excited to have more Capitals hockey on the horizon here. So,
Yeah, that ended pretty quickly, didn't it? I if you followed us on Instagram or TikTok or anything really, or you listened to the last episode, I had the game script for that game five, and I
yeah,
pretty much
dude,
nailed it.
you
You did.
absolutely nailed it.
And
Like
I got some
verbatim.
texts about it too. They were
Same.
like, that bet was kind of like really spot on.
Yeah, I got a few texts as well, being like,
Yeah.
"Damn, Harry killed it."
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, thanks. I sometimes I know something. We'll talk a little bit more about the gambling stuff later on in the episode, but yeah, this is kind of a round one recap slash game seven-ish preview. We'll get into all the details a little bit. This will not be a round two preview episode that'll be coming over to you guys in a couple of days. But we wanted to get you something for the weekend, and we wanted to talk about the Caps, obviously. So. Let's start off with just a quick little rundown of league news, and then we'll get into all the recaps. First off, called it last episode. Mike Sullivan, I said by Friday he'd be the head coach. It is Friday. He is the head coach of the New York Rangers. So they are all very happy. That was
That's
a
that's
strange day for me.
that's two things you've been right about now. You want to go buy a lottery ticket?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I just I have mixed emotions. It's kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to admit that on air, but
Yeah,
it's a weird feeling. It's a
It
very weird
sucks over
feeling.
here too, where we're sitting. So,
yeah, it does.
Who has coached? Who has been the longest tenured coach in Ovi's career?
Probably Bruce, right? Well, if
Was
you
that
that's a
count
Bruce?
great
like if
question.
you count like both well, I don't know actually.
It has to be Bruce or Barry, right?
I would think it's Bruce.
Like
I think
Hunter was 1 year,
no,
maybe
it's not
two.
Hunter,
It's
it's
not
not
Oates.
Oates, it's not Reardon.
Oh,
Thank God.
Jesus
Who was his
Christ.
rookie
Yeah.
coach?
Glenn
Hanlon.
Hanlon, who they fired for Boudreaux.
Yeah,
I think it's
it's
Bruce.
gotta be Bruce.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's just I was wondering that as I was thinking about this today because everyone was talking about Sid and how Sullivan coached him for half of his career, which is sounds so weird to say out loud, but it's true. And now they got to move on. So, congrats to the Rangers, I guess, sort of whatever. Rick Tocchet, he is not returning as head coach of the Vancouver Canucks. He won the Jack Adams Award in 2024. He led the Canucks to the second round of the playoffs last year before they ran into McJesus. It is believed that the Philadelphia Flyers will offer him anything and everything he wants, and the job is his if he wants it. So
That's crazy. It kind of makes sense though. I definitely think that could be a good fit.
Vancouver do one good thing challenge. They have
Yeah,
yet to
dude.
literally like complete that. It is so embarrassing. Like I
Yeah.
feel so bad for those fans and honestly for the
Mhm.
players too, because you had the whole circus with PD and JT going on. Guys, I am almost 100% positive Quinn Hughes will not retire a Canuck.
No, I doubt it. Also, what the fuck is Jim Rutherford doing, dude?
this
Like that
is
guy needs
Right.
to learn how to shut his fucking mouth. Like
Him and Sweeney gotta go. Like
not everything
it's
is
time's up.
like
It's let's get him out of here.
not everything is meant to be shared with the public or especially with the
Right.
media. Like what's that meme? It's like the Muppets or like Elmo or something and it's like sometimes it's not our turn to talk.
Yeah, spot
Yeah,
on.
that is Jim to a T. I'm pretty sure he called Kessel like fat one time, like when he was in his GM. He would say
He's
shit
such a
like Gino
clown.
needs to shut up. Like says what's on his mind, and that's how it rolls. But
Yep.
yeah, I would probably agree. I don't think Quinn Hughes will be retiring a Canuck. That went downhill quick.
Fast. Yeah.
Uh, kind of it makes you wonder. Like, I have a theory. If Thatcher Demko wasn't hurt for the last like 2 years of his career, would we be having different
Yeah.
conversations?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
It's a
don't
good
know.
question. It's so weird because I kind of liked watching the Canucks growing up. I mean, like when we were in middle and high school, who
Yeah.
was more fun? I mean, other than
Yeah.
Sid Novi, the Sedins were unbelievable to
Yeah.
watch. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
when they went to that cup final and what was it against Boston in 11,
2011. Yeah.
I was like, that team is winning the Stanley Cup. I still to this day think they're one of the best teams to play in the Stanley Cup final and not win it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, with Big Lou, Kessler, that was a stacked squad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bieksa, Hamuse.
I do feel a little bad for them. But that's what happens when you light things on fire. The Hurricanes, they announced Wednesday that they signed Taylor Hall to a 3-year extension with an AAV of 3.2. Congrats to Halsey. Had a great game 5 there for Carolina. So shout out to him. He's been a great fit.
Dude
He
will
really has.
somehow end up getting traded again next year. I swear to God. He gets moved around so fucking much. But all jokes aside, I do think it's a good fit for them.
You know the Canes aren't shy about moving people either,
No,
so
I know.
And then lastly, we'll talk about this series in a little bit, but there were rumors that Lightning head coach John Cooper would maybe be going to the Utah Hockey Club, is what people were saying. And GM Breezeball pretty quickly shot that down and said he is expecting John Cooper to be the head coach next season. So we'll put those rumors to rest. But the Lightning did get their asses handed to them in this first round. Excuse me. We'll talk about that in a sec, but we are going to start with Carolina and Jersey. Carolina takes that series 4-1. And what an insane game 5 we got here, fellas.
Yep.
yeah, that
Double
was completely
OT,
wild.
blowing a 3 goal lead. This game had all kinds of circus tricks.
I didn't get to see the first period. I think I was busy watching something else, and then I flipped over sort of in that lovely little gap when one game goes to intermission, one comes out of
Mhm.
it, and I'm like, holy shit, the Devils are up 3-0. And then, of course, within another
I
period, that's
yeah.
gone.
I never felt good about it,
No,
honestly. Like it's just one of those things where I was like, this it's way they're up 3, but it's way too early.
yes.
And yeah,
As
it
soon as Carolina got that second one, you're like, oh boy, it's just start the
did you
timer
see
now.
after the first period, Jordan Stahl, they're interviewing him and they're like, what's what do you basically what's going wrong out there? Why are you guys losing? And he's like, yeah, we thought it was gonna be easy, but I guess
Turns
not.
out this is the National Hockey League, and
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah, literally. So
At least he's honest. But yeah, Jersey was up 3-0 at one point. They blow the 3-goal lead and then lose on a Sebastian Aho double OT winner. So yeah, that one went just about as planned. I think we all picked Carolina. Nick, I think you might have had him at 7, but we all got it right. So
Yeah. Did you guys see that high sticking penalty in double overtime? I mean, Kokaniemi's eye got blown
yeah.
up. I don't know if you've seen it since. I'm glad he's okay. I know we don't really like the Canes on this show, but that was scary.
Yeah, it made me think of Carl Hagelin a little bit. We
Yeah.
were just talking about him the other day about how that's quite an unfortunate injury to end a guy's career a little prematurely. So definitely glad that Kokaniemi's all right.
for sure.
Hell of a look in the post game presser too. I mean, it
Oh
looks.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Remember in NHL, like back in the day when it was actually fun, you could create a player and you'd have the option to add black eyes.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. You
Yep.
could
Yeah,
add like bruising on the face too. Get
Yeah,
like the
you could.
yellow
Yep.
down here.
yeah,
Yep.
that
Yeah.
shit rocked.
That
God,
was cool.
we had it so good. Um, any final thoughts, like for Jersey? I mean, is the future still bright? Everyone always is going to think this team is going to be sick until Jack Hughes gets old.
I don't know what the hell to think about this team. I really don't. I mean, they missed the playoffs last year, then they got the injuries this year. I don't know. I really don't know what the hell's up with this team.
I think they put up a good fight considering how decimated they were. And I
Yeah,
know
I
one of
agree.
those injuries was hilarious and self-inflicted by their own goaltender, but um, given what they had to play with, I think they put up a sizable fight. But yeah, Mac, I agree. I have no idea what's going to happen with this team going
I
forward. I could
think
honestly see it going both ways.
I could too. I think if they're mostly healthy next year, they should be a playoff team again. I mean, I don't see why not, but you never know with teams like Montreal and Detroit. We'll see if they take a step forward. We'll see if
Sullivan's
Ottawa's
going to
back,
get the Rags into the playoffs. Like that's just a given at this
Right,
point.
right. So yeah, there's as we know, there's not a ton of room to fall behind. So we shall see. Also, just a brutal injury for Brendan Dillon.
Yeah.
They haven't made an official announcement on that, but what I'm hearing is not good, and I'm really hoping that it's not as serious as some people on Twitter have been making it out to be, but it did not look good.
Guy's a fan favorite everywhere he plays.
Yeah.
Everyone loves him.
Yep.
Best of luck to him. The Toronto Maple Leafs have won a playoff series for the second time in what, 30 years now? So
Hang the banner.
hang the banner. The Leafs beat the Senators in 6 games, and that was a pretty wild game six. Very entertaining third period. But boys, the Leafs, immediate thoughts. Like
Been
we'll talk
telling you
about.
guys all year that Max Pacioretty was the most important player in the Leafs lineup. I mean, come on.
We gotta talk.
Patches.
We gotta talk about that for a sec because I saw a lot of stuff online like, why is he playing? And then Berube put him on the second line. And they're like, why is
Yeah.
he on the top six?
Yeah, and then it's like, oh my God,
And then it's like, it was
Patches, let's
always
go.
Patches. It
Watch
was
Yeah.
that
all.
have been like like a lineup card fuck up, but it just happened to go really well for them because we know they're not great at setting their own
Yeah, I
lineup
was
and
gonna
submitting
say
that
that
anyways.
that is only the fucking Leafs would have some shit like that happen. The whole Nylander debacle.
Oh yeah, yeah.
In the most important game of the year.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so just to kind of quickly recap, the Leafs were up in the series 3-0, and then they lost game four. They come back home game five, and everyone's like, oh, okay, should be done. And they just lay an egg and lose 4-0. And their own fans were booing them throughout the game, which just applies even more pressure. And then game six happens. I think Ottawa takes the lead in the third period, if I'm not mistaken. And
They
everyone's
tied it up
like,
in the
They
third
tied
period.
it.
they
Yeah.
Yeah.
tied it. Okay, they didn't take the lead off that Perron little chip
Yeah.
shot on the backhand.
That
Unreal.
was wild.
Yeah.
And you could see the panic set in
Oh yeah.
online.
Oh yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was like, oh no. And
And
then
then Patches saves the day.
Max Pacioretty.
You know what that goal felt like? That goal felt like the Caps Fedorov game 7
Yes.
goal against the Rangers all those years ago, where it's like it's tied. You can feel it's going into overtime in like a massive game, and you can feel all the Caps fans being like, "We're so fucked." And then just an absolute veteran dog just like
Yeah.
takes it upon himself to be like, "Nah, I got it."
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
S-
put everything he had behind that one too. Found a nice little pocket of space and didn't hesitate.
Freaking wired it past Lundqvist on that one. Yep.
Yeah.
So some people are saying online that it is no coincidence that Max Pacioretty, who wears number 67, scored the goal because the Leafs haven't won a cup
Oh,
since
come on.
67.
Now
Oh
I
my
think we're fishing.
God. This is just the Charlie Day meme where he's pointing to like a
Yes.
million things on the blackboard or
Yeah.
whatever.
Um, yeah, it was a hell of a series. I tip my cap to Brady Tkachuk. That
Yeah.
was a
Hell
hell of
yeah.
a playoff debut. I don't know if you guys saw this. I'm pretty sure Bar Down posted it, but there was like a season ticket holder for the
Yes.
Senators
I
who
did
like
see that.
wrote him a letter, and
Yeah.
it was
It was
awesome.
cool. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
Um,
it was like some 12-year-old, and then I realized like it was very eloquently written. And then the guy goes,
Yeah.
I know I'm just some 30-year-old fan. I was like,
Yeah. I was
okay.
like, okay, got it.
pretty emotional in the press conference after Kachuk.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was a great series. It went a little longer than I think we thought after seeing 3-0. But the Leafs are moving on, and they are going to take on the big bad Florida Panthers in round two. Not going to touch on that this episode. We're saving that for next one. I am so excited to talk about it, but kudos to the Leafs, and they're moving on. All right, let's talk about the Caps. The Caps take down Montreal 4 games to 1, and that game five, you just had to know it was the Caps puck line. It was always that. Ovi scores in that game. Caps' first series win since capturing the cup in 2018, and it was their first time clinching a series at home since 2015.
I mean, let's start with the Ovi goal. I mean, if there's no net there, I'm pretty sure that thing is whizzing past Saturn right now because he wired that harder than a lot of his like one-timers I've seen in the last 5 or 6 years. I mean,
It's
that thing was ridiculous. It was in and out
yeah.
before Dobesh even moved.
Yeah, he shot that thing into orbit. I don't think there's a goalie in the league that's gonna make that save. That's also one of those shots where like you can watch like the slowest slow-mo replay available to you and you're gonna be like, that's slow motion. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. It's crazy, but
everything about it is slow motion until it comes off his stick, and then it
yep.
just looks like it's normal speed, or at
Yep.
least how I shoot at normal speed.
Yeah, right. No, that goal definitely set the tone. That was a huge one. And honestly, again, we've said it a bunch of times, but it has to be said again. LT, man, he made so many good saves. Like before that, even like where we could have been down 1-0 or even 2-0, and then it's a
Yes.
whole different ball game. So he really came to play. And then once Ovi got that goal, it just felt like you could feel the frustration from the Habs right then and there. And I'm not gonna lie, as soon as Chikrin scored, and look, I've watched us blow plenty of 2 goal leads, but this just felt I was like, there's no way. There's no way. Ray Ferraro said it best. He was like, "This is now turned into a nightmare scenario for the Habs. They're down
Yes.
2-0 in the first, and they're chasing this fucking must-win game. There was no way."
And that's a great way to put it. They were absolutely chasing it. And I think, I totally agree with what you said about LT. You could probably say the same thing about Dobesh too.
Yeah,
That could have been 5 or 6-0 through 2 periods if not for him.
absolutely. Yep.
I think in this series, what stood out to me the most is the star players for the Habs, for the most part, are relatively undersized. Maybe you could say Svechnikov, although I don't know if I'd put him in star player at this point, but they're undersized, and the Caps are a big physical team, and I think that really showed. And it's going to be interesting because similar to the Habs, I feel like Carolina, it's like they're a well skating, kind of undersized team with the exception of a couple guys, and the Caps are going to have their hands full. I mean, so will the Canes, but I'd love to know what the series line is for that, just out of curiosity. I
For
could check.
Caps Canes,
Yeah.
I thought, didn't you send it the other day? I thought it was
Oh,
like
I
I
think
think
I
I think
did.
the Caps are like plus 130 or some shit like that, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll tell you here in 2 seconds. Yeah, they are plus 130. The Hurricanes are minus 150.
Yeah, I don't
That
totally get that,
that is
but
horrendously mispriced. I don't get that one at all.
yeah,
Agreed.
I'm cool with it though. That's fine.
Yeah, I kind of hate that they're giving you guys that underdog narrative. But
Yeah, going back to this game five though, I thought the Caps did a great job of neutralizing the Habs top line. The Habs top line we know can play for 4 minutes a shift, it feels like. So I thought, great job by the Strome line, great job by the Dubois line, shutting those guys down. Demidov, thanks for coming. Didn't see you much. Cole
Nope.
Caulfield, you
he
had
had
one or
some
two, but
glimpses.
I think I really figured out the frustration with the Habs in that third period when Nick Suzuki had 2 or 3 really good looks like in the slot on LT. LT robs him and it just cuts to Suzuki's face, just being like, he's kind of smiling. He's like, you got to be kidding me. Like, what
Yeah.
else do I have to do to buy one here?
Yep.
It's a good series, a lot more entertaining than I was thinking it would be. I think the Habs are set up nicely. I think the oldest guy on their power play was 25 years old.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
power play is looking great for them.
Yes.
They should be
Wild.
really excited about that.
If I was coaching their power play, which obviously I'm not, my thing would be like, okay, someone needs to shoot the puck.
Yeah,
Like,
they work it around a little too much, but it's great puck movement, really good positioning. They get our guys out of position a lot,
yeah.
honestly, and we have a pretty good PK, so that was impressive to see for sure.
I think it's interesting, the Montembeault situation too. I saw a lot of
Yeah.
people online saying that had Montembeault played that game, maybe you go back to Montreal. I was like, I don't know if you can put that all on him because, the Caps handled him at times in that series, but it's
Yeah,
definitely something that the Habs would have been better with.
I think it made a difference for sure, right? I mean, dude pulled his groin too, so there was no way he was coming back. But
Right.
and that's not. I mean, Dobish he played good, but Monty was dialed for sure.
Who
Oh, that's
was
a
your series MVP for the Caps if you guys had to pick one?
I gotta go LT.
who you going, Nick?
Willie.
I
Yeah,
think you could
go
even. Oh, go ahead.
say Ovi.
I think you could even make a argument for Dylan Strom. I'm pretty sure he had a
Yeah,
Sure.
point. I think he had a point every game.
yeah.
And
Well,
unsung hero has to be Duhaime.
Yeah. Or PLD. I know he didn't score
Yeah.
a lot, but neutralizing that top line. I don't know. The whole team was good.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not like, the Caps are going to play another backup goalie in round two or anything like that. So, just so happens that the stars are aligning for this fucking run, and it's driving
Right.
me nuts.
Yeah, and then eventually we'll play another backup goalie, Anthony Stolarz.
Ah, wow. You're hoping.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
All right, well, we're gonna
Uh,
move on to
Hats off to David Savard. Great career.
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna move
Journeyman.
on to the Battle of Florida, and in a shocking turn of events, the Panthers take this one in only 5 games. Uh, I don't even know what to say. This series went the complete opposite of what everybody
It
thought.
was kind of a fucking dud. It
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
wasn't a very good series, honestly.
Think we all like deserved 7 for the amount of crap we've had to put up with the Florida Panthers over the last 2 years.
Yeah, I was hoping
They're
that
the
they
NHL's new little baby now, so they're going to be crammed down everyone's throat, and I understand that, but yeah, kind of getting a little sick of it.
I wanted them to like at least get a little more like banged up, go 6 or 7 games or something, but yeah, this is not ideal. They're well rested heading into the second round.
Well, to quote Matthew Kachuk, this is apparently not really a rivalry in his brain. He said it's not much of a rivalry now. Uh,
Damn.
I love that kind of attitude, but them chickens gonna come home to roost at some point, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. I
uh,
think he probably knows that. I think he's playing
Yeah,
games a little bit, but
well, that's
absolutely.
that's that's Matthew Kachuk.
yeah,
God,
yeah, yeah.
there is a part of me, even though I
I
picked the
love I
Leafs.
love the Kachuk brothers. I
How can
really
you
do.
not?
I really do.
I picked the Leafs to win that second round, but man, I'd be lying if I said Tom Wilson and Matthew Kachuk in the same series would be
Holy crap.
incredible.
Dude, I don't want any part of playing that
Me
team.
neither.
They're
I don't
so
think anyone
nasty.
does.
They're so nasty.
But in that last game, shout out to Listerainen and Lundell. They both had multi-point efforts. Listerainen with 4 points, Lundell with three. Marchand got a couple of assists. Everything was clicking for the Panthers. So, yeah, they make quick work. Brandon Hagel, hoping he's okay. There were some pretty heated comments towards Aaron Ekblad
Yeah.
about that hit thrown. So
I think he's got a point.
Yeah, he does.
I think he's got a fair point. Pretty nasty series, but over quick. I really don't have too much to say at this point, to be honest.
Yeah, I know their list of injuries got released today. And I know a lot of guys were banged up. Really scary with Bjorkstrand. I mean, basically, they had to make a house call to his house at 2 a.m. and he had to have emergency surgery because of compartment syndrome, which
Yeah, it's
I don't know
fucked.
if you guys are familiar with that,
I
but
looked it up earlier today
it
when I
is
saw
not
that.
fun.
Sounds
Oh
What
my
is
God.
that?
nasty.
It's basically like pressure builds up around your muscles and cuts off the blood flow to them.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's like literally like a compartment in like it's kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Victor Hedman played with a broken leg.
Yep.
Like,
How the fuck
what?
do you do?
Right.
I saw one that said leg and I saw one that said foot.
I think it was
Regardless,
a
it's
foot.
It's got to be like yeah, foot I've heard players will do it, but I was when I saw leg, I was thinking maybe it was like the Ovi thing where it's like a non-weight bearing bone or something like that. I mean, it's
Right.
still fucking impressive, but that's the only way I could think you could even
I'm surprised that this laundry list is this long for a first round series. I feel like we usually get these at like
Yeah.
conference final, Stanley Cup final,
Yep.
and then it's like, okay, well, I understand why everyone's dead now, but
Well, what's interesting too is like going into the series, we all picked Tampa because we thought Florida was so dinged up, and it
right.
turns out Tampa was the team that was like freaking in
Florida
the
literally pulled that, like, that meme where it's like, call an ambulance, but not
but
for
not for
me.
me.
Like,
Literally,
literally,
yeah, no,
that's
that is
them.
exactly what it was. You're
They're
right.
uh they're quickly becoming the Vegas of the East is what I'm gonna say. It's
Yep.
starting to feel like that.
But yeah,
Kachuk,
no, I mean, between what Hagel concussion, Hedman broken foot, whatever. I think Schlempo had a torn meniscus. So there's all kinds of injuries they were dealing with.
well, hats off to the Panthers. They will be taking on the Maple Leafs in the second round, which is just a beautiful matchup. The new powerhouse of the NHL with palm trees down in southern Florida taking on the mecca of the hockey world with history longer than a CVS receipt, and it's going to be a hell of a series. I'm super excited.
Well said.
We're going to move out west, but before we do, the Western Conference recap is brought to you by our friend at Prop Tracker. It's your home for player prop research and finding outlier bets for NHL, NBA, NFL, and more. Once you find a bet you like, start tracking it to get notified on its progress, like shots, rebounds, or receptions. Go to proptrackerapp.com/emptybetters to try a free month of our Android or iOS app. All right. This series blew my mind. The Edmonton Oilers come back from a 2-0 series deficit and ring off 4 wins in a row with Calvin Pickard in between the pipes and beat the LA Kings in the first round for the fourth straight season. Mac, you're up first.
This one, there's two series, and I think the next one is the next one we're going to talk about. But there's two series that just, I mean, like I'm not even a, a fan necessarily of these teams, but like I feel the like insomnia from this fan base. It's the Kings and it's the Wild. We'll talk about the Wild in a little bit, but I just like it would haunt me all summer long how the Kings fucking blew this. It's brutal. There's no way around it. The Byfield clear, under a minute left to ice that game. You're looking at a 3-1 series lead. Instead, it's tied. Then you lose in overtime. Then you lose the next game. I mean, it's I saw someone on Twitter today say that at this point, they feel that this is more miserable than like what the Caps dealt with the Penguins all those years. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
it's 4 fucking years in a row.
Yeah, that's
It's
a great way to put it.
it's unbelievable.
You
Like,
also had that terrible coaches challenge in there too, which
yep,
absolutely
yep.
cost them that game.
There's a handful of moments, and that's where I'm talking about the insomnia comes from. There's a handful of moments that you can pinpoint and say, like, if we just didn't fucking do this, or if we did this differently, like I know every team can probably find their ifs and buts, but the ones here for LA just are so brutal.
It's tough because I think a lot of their players played really well. Kuzmenko was
Yes.
unbelievable. Kemper played
Yes.
probably the best playoff
Yeah.
series I've ever seen him play,
Yep.
and that
I
includes winning a
100% agree.
Stanley
I
Cup. So,
completely agree.
yeah, I think it kind of goes back to what I was saying last week with all these depth issues the Kings have. It's like, yeah, they're going to keep McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice for 4 minutes, and at that point in the game, the Kings are out of gas.
I honestly think, I know you can blame Byfield or whoever you want to blame, but I honestly think it came down to coaching. Like
Yeah,
the decisions he was making did not make a lot of sense. And you can point at that coach's challenge. You can also just point at some of the like things he was doing to the like systems in the third period and sitting back and not like it was not the way that you go about trying to beat this
it was
Edmonton
playing
team.
not to lose, not
Yeah.
playing to win.
Yeah, and
That's
that's not going to
perfect way to
work
put it.
against these guys. So, that I think kind of bit them. I doubt he'll be back because wasn't isn't he didn't they can somebody earlier in the year?
Didn't they can
It was
McClellan?
last year.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Last year
Was it
they
last
kept
year?
it was last season, I'm pretty sure, and they
Okay.
kept Hiller. Is that his name, Hiller?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim
Yeah.
Hiller.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't I mean that would be enough for me to be like, all right, beat it, buddy.
Same.
Yeah. I think we're heading that direction.
I'm surprised it didn't happen today.
Yeah, same.
I feel sorry for the Kings, like Max said, 4 years in a row. Like I'd go to bed with nightmares of the number
Yeah.
97 in my
Yeah.
brain. And Kempe played about as good as
Hmm.
anybody I've seen in this playoffs play. Second in the NHL in scoring through the playoffs, and they lost in six. So 10 points in 6 games is pretty impressive. I have to ask this question because now my brain is swirling, and let's say Colorado gets knocked out. I'm not trying to dismiss Dallas here, but if Colorado gets knocked out, and let's say Winnipeg advances, the Oilers, I think they have a path to the cup. Like I picked Vegas, but I'm not feeling very confident right now.
I don't know. I think the Oilers still have some problems that they really need to solve before they can think conference finals or Stanley Cup final. And I think round two is going to be the big test for them.
Yeah, I was feeling this way a little bit earlier, but now the more I think about it, the more I'm like the Kings kind of fucking beat themselves. Like the Oilers, they kind of deserve to lose this series, in my opinion. Like they kind of came out of their grave. They came back from the dead a little bit. And I think, if they almost it's hard saying they almost lost to the Kings because they beat them in 6 games, but you get what I mean when I say if they kind of almost lost to the Kings, I think somebody else will be able to handle them.
It's just crazy because like every game besides game five turned into a track meet. And
Yeah.
that's the problem is no one's gonna beat the Oilers in a track meet because
Yeah. Well,
It's a
that's
great point.
why I think a team like Winnipeg could maybe handle them because I
Yeah.
think Winnipeg is built in a way that they kind of suffocate you. They don't play that like run and gun. They're not gonna play the Oilers game. They're gonna play their own game. And I don't know if that'll work for the Oilers. So we'll see.
just gotta
And
stop the
that
puck.
team does have guys that are quick too. So it's like if they can send Connor and Ehlers in transition, I don't know if the Oilers D core has an answer for that.
The crazy part about game six is 29 and 97 really didn't do that
Right.
much. It was a lot of the depth guys. It was Hyman, it was Nugent Hopkins, it was Frederick, it was Henrique. It's like, the secondary guys pulling their weight. If Edmonton has that going on, I don't know who's going to beat them. But
Yeah. And
goaltending remains a question for sure.
I think you just gotta go with Pickard at this point. Unless his game completely falls off the face of the earth, I don't really think you can go back to Skinner.
Oh, you mean like last year?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We've
I mean,
seen
if it
this
happens
movie.
again, like you gotta get rid of one, right?
Mark my words, we will see Stuart Skinner start a game again in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I don't
I
think you're
would
wrong.
I would think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident. But the Oilers move on. Morgan Miller, my condolences to you. That is tough. That's a
that's
tough
rough.
beat.
Brutal.
4 years in a row. But all right, we move on to the next series. Vegas versus Minnesota. Another one where I'm pretty surprised that Vegas pulled this one off in six after watching the first couple games in this series. But game five, Howden's OT goal, that was pretty much the dagger. I mean, it felt like, after Minnesota in game four had it and then they lost it in overtime to Barbashev. Here we go to OT again. Howden ices the game. And then once game six happened, I thought maybe Minnie's at home, like they got all the momentum, but the line in that game was so odd. They had Vegas as heavy, heavy favorites, and now I understand why.
Yeah, the game five for this
Game
series is
five. Oh
is
my
what
God.
that is what would keep me up at night as a Wild fan, just because I mean you're going into the third period, you forget if it was tied or if they were down one.
I think
But
they were
either
down one.
either way, you're going into it and you find out your goalie can't play. So now you got Flurry coming in cold. That's not ideal. But then you tie it, and then not only tie it, you get the go ahead goal with like 60 seconds left on the clock. Right? Like imagine you're a Wild fan. You're watching this game. You're fucking nervous
I
as
was
all
going
hell.
nuts. Like
That puck goes in. I would have been losing my goddamn mind. Like, fuck yes, let's go. Like we won, basically. We won this game. We're going back home with a 3-2 series lead. And then you just see the wave of the finger from the Vegas bench waving the ref over. Hey, come here. I got a question. And oh my God, boys, a centimeter. Like
yeah.
so close. it's plays like that that make me really hate the offside rule. I know that he was offside. They got the call right. Like it was a good challenge, but like, come on, man. Like
We've talked about this before.
Right.
Like it's the
it
rule, but
it
I don't want it to be the rule right
it
now.
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's not it didn't it's not in the spirit of the rule. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
But
It it's
it
like impossible to draw that line though, because
yeah,
they
it
already
is.
did.
It is. Yep.
Do you want to hear the wildest stat I've ever read in the history of this show, potentially?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
This is
Oh,
mind
I
this
I
this
think
is
I
mi-
know what you're gonna say, but go for it.
this is mind blowing. This comes to us from WTF Stats on Twitter. The Minnesota Wild are the first team ever in the four major sports
Yep.
to make the playoffs 8 times or more in a 10-year span and lose in the first round every single time.
Yeah. Yep.
God damn
Nick
it.
is losing it. Nick's
That's
losing it.
so bad, man. Like,
Well, I saw somebody saying that they were like, okay, it's time to stop talking about the like Leafs not being able to get out of the first
Oh
round.
yeah.
Like we need
yeah,
to have more spotlight on this Wild thing because it's like nobody's really talking about it. But yeah, they lose in the first round every fucking year,
eight
dude.
straight is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like that is crazy. And it's nine consecutive playoff series going back to whatever that year was before
Hmm.
the eight started. But oh my
Yep.
God, I feel for those fans, man. It was so cool to see that arena like rocking and buzzing, and then it just
Yep.
kind of like falls apart for them, like it always does at the end. I mean, even game 6, it's like, Vegas scores to go up 3-1 with 4 minutes left, and then Hartman
Hmm.
gets one back, and the
Yep.
place is
It's
losing
just
its mind.
yeah.
And did you guys watch the end of that game?
I
Which
saw
one?
the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on those two non-calls? Boldy getting tackled, and I think someone else got pulled down under a minute to go. And I
With a
saw the,
Yeah.
series
the
on the line.
the yeah, series on the line. The refs are just going to swallow the whistle anyways. So
It's tough, and I can't remember like if the penalties were even to that point, or if one team had more, but that may play a role too. It's so tough. It like was it a penalty? Probably. Like I
yeah, like you don't have a stick and you kick the guy's feet out from under
yeah
him while pulling his
yeah.
shoulder down. I'd
I
probably call that, but I
I
also
would
get it under a
yeah
minute to go.
yeah. It's
Well, in
tough.
front of that net, it was a war zone. But
Hmm.
Yeah,
yes, no, I don't really have a problem with it. But I was also rooting for Vegas, so but probably.
It's probably a penalty in the first period of that game,
easy. I think it's a penalty like in the third period too. Just
not with
probably,
under a minute. Yeah,
yeah,
We need to
that
set a
sucks.
reminder on like the calendar for like April 1st of 2026 and remind ourselves that no matter how hot the Wild might be, just
yeah.
remember they're a purgatory team and it's never going to happen.
Yep.
Just like take a future bet on whoever they play in the first round.
Yes.
Damn.
So
It's so
Vegas
sad.
moves on and they'll take on the Oilers. A little rematch from 2 years ago when the Golden Knights beat Edmonton on their way to the Stanley Cup, which Mr. McDavid made note of in his presser today.
He did. I saw that. Also, before we finish up with Mini, gotta shout out Flurry. It's officially it
Oh,
for him. So,
Yeah,
uh,
breaks my heart.
shout out
it's a
one of the
great
20,
goats,
career.
one of the absolute goats.
Yeah,
21 seasons.
it's
Insane.
impressive.
Insane. First
And
ballot Hall of
and
Famer.
so well liked by like the entire league.
Yes.
Like that's maybe even more impressive to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, a part of me died on what was it? Thursday, Wednesday, when I saw Flower in the handshake, I was like,
Yeah,
that
it's
hurt me.
tough.
That hurt
It's
a
Yeah.
little
tough.
bit.
I
Well,
guess this is growing
David
up.
Savard was crying too. It's
Yeah.
emotional for these guys, man. Did you see they asked Ovi what he said to Savard in the handshake line and he was like, "Oh, I just tell him maybe one more, who knows?" And Savard was like, "No,
It's like, no, I'm like
I'm
retiring.
retiring. That's kind of
I've
the whole
blocked
point."
8,000 pucks in my life. I'm literally
Yeah,
about to fall
Yeah.
apart.
that is such an Obi quote.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know, maybe just play again next year.
Mac, the people are dying to know.
Oh
The
boy.
two teams that you seem to pick on the most in the West, Vegas and Edmonton, playing each other. Who are you going to
Hmm.
be rooting for?
Rooting for I guess I don't know, man. I don't like either of these teams at all. I guess Edmonton.
Okay.
I want seven. I just want seven
Yeah,
games,
that's
and
what you're rooting for.
yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Fuck them both.
Oh man. Well, we saved the two
Spot on.
series that are still alive for last, and we have Winnipeg and St. Louis. Game six is going to start here about what 30 minutes from now, as we're recording. So we don't have game six notes, but as of right now, Winnipeg is up 3 games to 2. They take game five. Kyle Connor, Mr. Clutch, has a goal and 2 assists to lead the Jets to a 5-3 win. Scheifele did exit that game early after taking a hit from Shen, and it is now noted that he will not be traveling with the team to St. Louis for Game Six, which is a huge dagger for the Jets.
Can we
Uh,
talk about this Montgomery quote? Because I don't fucking understand it at all.
Doesn't make sense to me.
What is he talking about saying? So he says, let's make it clear. Scheifele got hurt from the Foxa hit. What? Why would you be trying to say like I just don't understand the logic. Whether he got hit by by
I think
whether
he
he,
was just pissed that there wasn't a call on the play, and that was his poopy pants way of letting the refs know. It's like, I just want to be clear, my player got hurt because you didn't call this.
but
But it's like that doesn't change anything.
but it's Montgomery saying it.
Right.
That's why I'm confused.
Yeah.
He's talking about the opposing player, and he's trying to make a distinction of
Right.
which one of
That's
his
true.
players injured him. And it's like, what the fuck are you
little out
talking
of
about?
bounds, yeah.
Yeah.
I I just don't.
Arneal fired back at him too.
Yeah, he said I didn't know he was a doctor or some shit like that.
Yeah. Pretty I like the passive aggressiveness in the little coaches beef there. But yeah, very very weird comment. Connor Hellebuck, 16 saves in the win for Winnipeg, which I don't know if I've ever heard of a goalie in the playoffs winning a game with 16 saves. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we turn to game six. Back in St. Louis, no Scheifele. Listeners love to hear when we're either right or wrong. So I'm going to ask you guys who you got in 20 minutes. We'll know if we're right or wrong tomorrow.
The St. Louis Blues. We will have another game seven out west.
I think so.
I'm
And
in
Home
then
team
agreement.
has won every game in the series, right?
and then Jets and seven. I'm
Yeah.
sticking with that.
I'm in agreement. I think that's the way this goes. Obviously, can't recap it, but we'll talk about it in the next episode if it does go to game seven.
I saw
Any
something interesting about Hellebuck, and I completely forget who said this, but she made a great point, and I want to know if you guys agree with this. So she was basically saying how, part of the reason she thinks Hellebuck struggles in the postseason is he's such a technically responsible and sound goaltender, positioning great post to post. He's great, great crease management during the regular season. That's your best friend. That's how you win 60 games a year. What her point was, in the playoffs, sometimes you have to come out of your comfort zone a little bit to make those second and third chance saves. You kind of got to throw caution to the wind sometimes. And her point was, I think that's where he struggles.
interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I tend to still think it's because they fucking play him 65 games a year
Good point.
every season, but that is an interesting point. I don't doubt that might play a role as well.
Right.
I mean, if Winnipeg's going to hold people to under 20 shots a game, then I think they have a great chance to win. I'm just not sure how feasible that is
Yeah.
night in,
Yeah.
night out. I got to give a shout out to Nathan Walker. This guy's had a hell of a series. Caps legend,
Yep.
Aussie,
Stanley Cup champion.
Yep.
Aussie legend. Him and Snuggerud, man. Talk about depth for the Blues coming in. Like, that's been so huge for them.
Two-time Stanley Cup champion? Was he with the Blues the very next year?
He might have been. Let me
I'm not
look.
sure.
I feel like he left right after he won it with us, and I think he went straight there. I could be wrong.
This has been what I hope this one does go seven because this has been one of my favorite series. I feel like there's
It's
every
been a
game's been
sneaky good one for
yeah,
sure.
kind of close, a lot of physicality. I've been a big fan.
Yep.
Nick's fact checking real time. We'll circle up with him in a second. Um, but if Mac, you got anything else you want to say about that series, or should we move to Colorado?
Um, I mean I'll hand it to the Blues. I think they've played the Jets a lot closer than I expected them to. So I'll admit that I kind of thought they would get walked all over by the Jets, but I was wrong.
He was with the Blues then, but he played the entire year in San Antonio in the
Got
AHL.
got it.
Gotcha. Um, Nick, we good to move to Colorado, or you got anything else you want to say about?
No, I think that's it.
That
Yeah,
series.
I feel like if this one goes seven, it all comes down to Connor Hellebuck for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting.
And
Can't
that's going to
wait.
be like, it's either going to be real good or really bad. So fingers
Yep.
crossed for that guy that it's good.
For sure. All right, last series, Dallas and Colorado, in which we do have a confirmed game 7 after an absolutely wild game 6. We'll circle back to game 5 real quick. That one went back to Dallas. That was an ass kicking. I don't think anybody expected that. I think people were thinking after Colorado put a smackdown on them in game 4 that it was going to go back to Dallas and we were just going to get a 4-2 series. Colorado just wins it all out. And that was not the case. Jake Ottinger stopped 27 shots, and he played great. Mikko Rantanen scored his first goal of the postseason. And then you fast forward to game 6, going back to Colorado. That was one of the best hockey games, even though I fell asleep like midway through the third period. That was one of the best hockey games I think we've gotten all year.
Yep.
I
It was
was
insane.
kind of falling asleep, and then the incessant amount of horns that were going off just kept me awake.
Yeah,
Yep.
couple empty netters there. I think I read. I gotta look this, make sure this is right. But I think I read that McKinnon had no points halfway through the third period, and then
Yeah.
from empty nets in the tying goal, he managed to get a 3-point game, which is
Yeah, dude.
nuts.
Avs Twitter was going bonkers like that whole game because people were tweeting like, "What the fuck, McKinnon? Like, lousy leader. Like in the most like important game, like he's doing nothing." And then like 30 minutes later, everyone was like, "All right, never mind. We won. We're good."
Did you see the goal that he got credited for?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
insane.
Is that the weirdest goal in playoff hockey history?
It's up there. The only one that immediately comes to mind as weirder, it shouldn't have counted. It's the one in that San Jose series that hits the netting and comes back down and just goes in because that's a
Or
game winner. It's a series winning goal, actually.
Stanley Cup Final 2003, Brodeur comes out to play the puck, drops his stick, it
Mm,
goes off the stick and between his legs.
yep, yep.
Yes, McKinnon did get points on the last 3 goals. 2 of them were empty net assists.
And
I also
yet, 48 shots for the Colorado Avalanche. Thanks a lot, Nate Mack. You fucking lost a lot of people money. So,
you and I are both in that camp.
yeah.
I think I read on Twitter. Don't take this like totally for fact, but I'm pretty sure I read that in the second period we know that Hintz and Rantanen both had 4 points in the second period alone, and I'm pretty sure I read that tied a playoff record for most points in a period ever.
Wow.
Yeah, Hintz looked unbelievable in that second period, and that's
Hmm.
something that they desperately needed from him. I like that guy, I like his game, but like dude has got to put the puck in the net a little bit more, especially with those two big injuries that Dallas has.
Need some more consistency. Yep.
Absolutely.
I'm looking at the Dallas Stars like goal like box score from the second period, and it's just finish player, finish player, finish player, finish
Yeah.
player. I'm like, dude, this
Yep.
is literally the Four
It's
Nations team.
it's
I was gonna say
unreal.
if we get the Carolina Hurricanes and the Dallas
Oh
Stars in the
my
Stanley Cup
God.
final, let's just
Yeah,
move
that
this thing to
country is just gonna,
Helsinki.
yeah, seriously.
So we meet again. Game 7. Last year, the Stars bounced the Avalanche from the postseason, and Nate Mack mentioned in his postgame presser that they remember that. So Game 7's going back to Dallas. Heiskanen and Robertson will not play, but the Stars have looked really good, and Rantanen is well and alive. So we got to get some Game 7 predictions here, fellas. What are we thinking?
This one's so hard to call. This entire series has been so hard to call. I told you guys I was like, I'm done trying to pick a goal scorer for Dallas because even they don't know who's gonna score. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy to think that either McKinnon or Rantanen are going home right now, or in 24 hours. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Pete DeBoer, Mr. Game 7 behind the bench. Just saying.
Yeah,
My gut is telling me Dallas.
my
And
gut's
that's
telling me
that's who I
Dallas too, and
want.
I don't want Dallas to
I do
win.
want Dallas.
I for me, the other thing with why I'm slightly leaning Dallas is between the woodshed and the otter.
Yep.
The otter's always going to
Yep.
get into that woodshed.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
But who has the
No.
best player? Like that's the other thing with
I
game
mean,
sevens. I'm
yeah.
like
Yeah.
you've
Yeah.
got the
Yeah.
goalie that's like who's the best player on the ice, and I just
Oh yeah. If the Avs are down one, like in the third period, McKinnon's going to take 8 minute
Yeah.
shifts and just cruise. Like,
I'm so torn.
I might run it back on it over 4.5 shots in that game,
That's not a
honestly.
bad bet. I mean, as long as he
I
like
swear
doesn't
to God, if he,
try and hit the goal light with them like he was in
yeah,
game 6, but
yeah.
So Nick, you think Dallas takes it?
I'm leaning Dallas, but it's like 51-49 split for me. Like I
Mm,
actually think this game is that much of a coin flip.
it's pretty close. It again, we said it at the beginning of the playoffs when we were previewing stuff, but it's such a shame that this has to be a first round matchup.
Yeah,
This really could be a Western Conference final.
right. This also kind of it stinks a little bit. I don't know if you guys can smell that, but it smells like free hockey at the end of it.
Yeah, I
I
feel
could definitely see that.
I feel that. So Mac, you're going Dallas?
I'm going Dallas. Yep. I'm gonna go Stars 4-3 overtime. I like Nick's OT pick.
Stars 6-5 overtime.
6-5
Barn burner. Let's
in a game
go.
seven.
I have
Wow.
a feeling
Wow.
for some reason we get a little bit of a weird one.
Mac, what was
Okay.
your score prediction?
4-3.
Damn, you guys both are going over. Uh, my gut is telling me Dallas is going to win, but I picked Colorado to win this series. I picked them in six. I don't feel confident that they're going to win this game seven, but I'm going to ride with them because I have to. And I truly believe if they win this, I think they're going to smoke Winnipeg or St. Louis, whoever wins that. And then I think they're going to the third round. So
Wow.
give me the Avs. I'm going to take the Avs. 4-2.
Okay,
Okay.
Empty netter.
I could see it.
And it's going to
We
be,
shall see.
I'm going to keep an eye on Arturi Lekkinen. I
Okay.
love that guy's
Dude, he
game.
had fucking like 8 shots on goal
He's a shot
yesterday.
machine.
Yeah, I should have bet
Machine.
him.
I
Great
know. I
game
was
last
thinking about that.
You
last
guys
night for
tell I'm
him.
still salty.
All right. That is our round one recaps and predictions. We will be back with you guys in a couple of days for finishing off the game sevens and sixes, and then we will do our round two previews. It's going to be a lot of fun. I am very much looking forward to the round two.
Yeah, same here.
Absolutely.
I really hope this game tonight that's going to start in 12 minutes goes game 7 because I feel like we were kind of robbed a little bit,
Yeah.
with,
We could have
you
had
know,
four, like
yeah,
just
like
yesterday, four
Cats
of them for us.
Bolts kind
Yeah,
of like is still sticking at me a little bit. The
I
fact that we had
agree.
to watch Kane's, no, I'm kidding. But yeah, I wanted to go 7. Come on, seven's fun.
Yep.
How's Nick? Not to rub salt in the wound, but the bracket.
Oh, it's like I am absolutely 100% coming in last in that bracket challenge, and I would put money on that because it is so fucked.
We should have a if one of us comes in dead last in the entire like bracket pool, there should be some kind of punishment for that.
Oh, that'll be me. So
Mac,
whatever you guys cook up, just let me know.
Mac, you're alive, right? Or
Well,
are
I
you in
had
Tampa?
Tampa in the cup final, but I've got Winnipeg winning, so
Yeah, at least
You're
you didn't
still
have
alive.
LA and Tampa in the cup
I'm
final.
alive. I do yeah, I had LA winning there. I don't know. Mine's not like a complete shit show, but it's not pretty.
I
That's pretty bad.
I don't want to toot my own horn here, but if Colorado and Winnipeg win their series, it's an 8 for 8. I don't think I've ever done that.
Wow, that's impressive.
Like on the
Yeah.
west side or for
No,
everything.
I would if they both win, I've gotten everything right.
Wow.
I've never ever done that.
Look at you.
I got the East down. We'll see about these
You'll be ordering yourself an HKY jersey.
I
So
just did.
true.
Congratulations. Yeah, I did. I just did too. I'm
Oh, you
excited to
guys
get
did the
that.
most recent drop.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mac, why don't you tell the listeners if they don't know what that is real quick, just what we're talking about.
Sure, yeah. It's go on Twitter or go on Instagram. Just search up HKY Jersey. That's the name of the account. Something like that should come up with that. And yeah, this guy's doing I think like once a month about he does like a mystery box jersey ship. So basically he'll tell you when it is. This month or I guess it was April just happened. Um, basically, he tells you, okay, on this date, 8 p.m., I'm gonna tweet this thing. All you have to do is reply to the tweet with your jersey size, and if you do that within first couple minutes of the tweet coming out, he'll DM you a link and you go on there. It ends up being about $100 with shipping, but you could get any. It could be anything, really. It could
Yeah.
be they're all authentic jerseys. Could be from any era. Could be Adidas. Could be Fanatics. Could even be like CCM, Coho, older stuff. But yeah, some of them are signed, some of them are just blank, replica jersey. It could be anything. So, uh,
It's pretty
pretty
cool. You got
pretty
that
cool promo. And yeah, I got a nice Habs jersey, the light blue one. That's pretty cool. The first time I did it, and then I think I skipped the last one, so this will be my second one. But
I got a
um,
Draisaitl one when I did it, and that came out pretty sweet.
yep,
I saw because he retweets the photos that people submit,
yeah,
and I think
there's been
someone,
some beauties.
yeah, someone pulled a rookie, oh, obviously rookie, autographed Demidov, and I was like, that thing's gonna be worth so much
Oh
money,
Yeah.
my
and like,
gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
yeah,
there's all kinds of really cool stuff that you could get. So, and I think I saw, don't quote me on this one, but I think that if you get a certain, like a really special one, the package itself will be in like gold, like wrapping or something like that. So
Oh,
you
okay.
may be able to tell just from like looking at the package on your doorstep and be like, oh shit, it's gold.
It's
yeah.
fun. I like the mystery box stuff. I've done it for the soccer stuff too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a fun concept. So shout out HKY Jersey and yeah, go check them
Especially
out.
for
Okay.
like, I mean, it's $80, right?
Yeah,
So, and you're probably getting something that's worth at least 120, 115.
minimum.
So it's a good
Minimum.
deal.
And it could be worth, I mean, if it's one of those autograph
True.
ones, shit,
Yeah, like those Four Nations
several
ones. Oh my
hundred. Yeah.
God.
And a reminder, if you're in our bracket challenge, first place will get a free entry on us. So
Yep.
keep that in mind, but appreciate everybody for listening, supporting throughout the first round of the playoffs. Means a lot to us. It's been great. It's been fun. Uh, Caps are going around too, so I know a lot of listeners are happy about that. Stay tuned.
Good
But
for the
if you,
brand. Good for the show.
Good for your health.
Yeah, that too.
eh, you guys got anything else? Are we good?
Go Caps.
Go Caps, baby.
We will see y'all in the next one.